Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we are back for another brand new video. That's right, and this smile just continues that we've had since Wednesday night as we took some of that European magic and sprinkled it in the domestic level as we went ahead and slapped, spanked and sent home Ross County with a scoreline of Rangers 4. Ross County now. And honestly people, if that doesn't put a smile on your nasher, I don't know what else to tell you, because some of the football that we played and the standard of these goals that we scored is absolutely unreal. And there were several occasions I was sitting back going, oh my god, they've got families, Rangers Football Club, because genuinely it got to the level of quality that I started to feel my heart gone, and I thought to myself, if this continues, my grey hair might revert back to frickin' black. And to start off today's video, I need to mention one man's name and one man's name only, because I'm going to try and contain myself so I can get in to the game recap. But I need to talk about Antonio Colak. I genuinely can't resist it. It's like seeing a flyaway ball, people. You know you've got to run up and kick it, because for a split second you feel like Roberto Carlos. And at the start of today's video, I need to start off by speaking about this laddie, because genuinely he's frightening. He just genuinely is, man. I sat here on the channel and I was so excited about him because I've seen him. He's a natural goal scorer. He just scores goals and everything like that. We talked about it here on the channel. Yet after one game, people had this laddie out in an open fire ready to cook him at the football club. But yeah, I'm standing here now after goal after goal after goal, presenting him once again to each and every single person clicking on today's video like Simba, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at him. I'm handing him to you right now. This man is no Antonio Colak. This man is Antonio Golak. The Govan Giroud deserves that ridiculous nickname because he just cannot stop scoring for this football club. What a start to this guy's Rangers career, and it still perplexes me that so many people didn't rate the laddie, didn't think this laddie can lead a line. Honestly, take your bias out of it. I know Morelos has got a great song and everything like that, but this guy is a genuine number 9, and we've not had somebody like him for a very, very long time. Again, putting Jermaine Defoe to one side because we knew his circumstances, his age and everything like that. In terms of finishing ability, this guy is so clear at everyone we've had for so long. It's scary to go back and think of the strikers it's been since. And if you think I'm maybe jumping the gun and everything by saying this laddie's the best out and out striker we've had for a very long time, just look at his resume. Look at what he is doing for our football club. Livingston, he got that goal incorrectly ruled for offside, but then he followed up with a goal versus Kilmarnock, a goal versus St Johnstone, he got an assist versus Hibs, he got 2 goals a day versus Ross County. And if you want to try and pick goals and say, aye, but what about Europe, that's Scottish League, blah blah blah, in the European football he's been just as deadly. Yes, he blanked in the first game versus USG, but then he went and scored in the return leg. He went and scored in not only the first leg, which was a magnificent finish by the way at home versus PSV, he scored the vital goal to take us into the Champions League. So if you slap it all together, ladies and gentlemen, this man has 7 goals in 9 games with 1 assist and 1 goal incorrectly ruled out. This lad right here should have a Netflix series that's sitting number 1 in the UK right now, because this guy right here is freaking deadly. Oh man, he's nuts. And some of the goals, that, especially when we start breaking them down, just the joy that gives me is absolutely frightening. But again, I'm getting lost and it's getting messy and everything all up in the national because I am so happy. So I'll try and pull on the reins. I'll try to actually break down the game fairly. But before we do that, again, we are closing in on 56 freaking K. If you want to help support the channel, please consider doing so. But aye, let's go ahead and talk about it then, shall we? Because again, we're up against a competitive, stubborn Ross County side who hadn't so far this season conceded a goal in the first half. And my biggest takeaway from how we approached this game and how we started this game was how much we were freaking gone for it. We knew how competitive they were and they knew we were battling, but Gio didn't play it safe or be conservative. He didn't play with that handbrake. It's well and truly doing, people, right? Because he just unleashed everyone. One holding midfielder, and to be fair, I think John Lundstram was the midfield for the majority of the game because everyone else was told to go and attack, and that's the way it should be. It felt like that spanking the day versus Ross County was a warning to every other team at Ibrox, saying we've figured out, we went through that transitional period, we know how to attack them now, and Ibrox once again is a place that should be feared because we will come for you from the first whistle. Because it wasn't just the midfield and the attack, Dane Hings. Connor Goldson was absolutely bombing forward and creating havoc and overloading, pinning them fricking back. It was absolutely beautiful to see, and I thought Ryan Kent was spectacular again in this game of football. That's more like the Kent. It was really the first time so far this season I've seen him up against in a 1v1 scenario, because we had another right winger on the park and he just tore them to shreds. He had a couple of efforts, but again, they weren't hitting the target or that, and some people could be critical of that, but I'm no people. As long as Ryan Kent's doing that, I'll be much happier, because see, when he's overplaying and he's passing it backwards, it drives me absolutely crazy. So Kent, keep doing that, keep beating your man, keep cutting inside and keep having pops, because eventually it's going to start ringing true. But aye, speaking ringing true, Connor Goldson hit a nice lovely 1-2 and then sprinted 50 yards to get in at the back post. He probably could have squared this one to Colak because it is 40 his feet, but again, he's just reacting. It's easier to go back and look at the highlights and say, oh, he should have probably passed that. It ended up being a very good save by the keeper, but it was a promising start. And then, yes, the James Sands situation happened where he picked up a yellow card early, and again, because we were bombing so far forward, that long ball we talked about in yesterday's preview video, it gets him behind. James Sands collides with the player. For me, I think he's very lucky to stay on the park, and I can hold my hands up and say that. I think there could have been a yellow card there, and I think he could have been sent off because he was just got the wrong side, he got turned, and he broke the laddie down. So I can think he's very, very lucky in the game, but again, does anyone want to talk about the penalty kick 4 minutes before that? No? Okay, it's just James Sands FC. Now, it's important to remember that incident right there with the referee refusing to give a clear second yellow card, because it happened in favour of Ross County 10 minutes later. But before we get there, a couple of more nice movements for Ryan Kent beating his man 1v1, setting up Tillman, who forced again another save. There was a couple crosses that came into the box. Some of Kent's crosses today was absolutely beautiful, but it was just missing Colak here, just missing Colak here, wouldn't have fought him here, and you just thought for a split second, is it going to be one of these days for Antonio Colak where the ball just doesn't fought him so he can have a pop and goal? Well, we all know how that turned out, but before we get to that wonderful goal from Antonio Colak, we have the opening goal of the game, and it's funny to think back because everyone, and I mean everyone, and you can admit this to me in the comment section below if you are still watching, absolutely bricked themselves as John McLaughlin took a man on 1v1. You just saw what happened with Mendy and the Leeds player last week. He took the guy on 1v1. Everyone could have picked up a leaflet with the old arse cheeks, if you know what I'm saying, but it actually worked out. The pass to Tillman was decent, but I have to give all the credit. I love Big John, and I think he done well again today with a couple of the things he had today, but this here, the way this goal breaks down as I hit my mic and everything, isn't doing to McLaughlin making that pass. This is all about the quality, the composure and the class of Tillman as he takes what is a difficult ball to bring down, turns his man, Glenn Kamara-esque, dare I say, but then he's got the power to drive us fricking forward, carries it 30-40 yards, and after a couple passes it gets passed inside to John Lundstram, who has a fricking pop for range. And again, yes, it takes a deflection, but if you didn't shoot, you didn't score. I like that, people. So John Lundstram's there, he's kissing the badge and everything like that, and that boy gets his goal that his performances all seasons fricking deserve. But where we've talked about one winger having a good game so far in Ryan Kent and a couple crosses just missing Colak, let's get to the second goal of the game then, shall we? And it came from the other side, and what I love about Scott Wright in this game is he just played angry, and that's what I want to see. I didn't want to see passive Scott Wright who's just gone through the motions and everything like, no, just attack your fricking man. Your biggest asset's your pace, son, so fricking use it. And what I love, a minute before we ended up having the moment that created the goal, it has a wee sort of run at the fullback, and the fullback's pulling him over that, and you can see Scott Wright, he gets up and he's just having a back and forth with the laddie, again having a bit of piss and vinegar, if you will. And I like that because the next moment, the very next time he touched that fit ball, it was the same combination. Scott Wright was almost telling him, I'm coming for you next time I get the fit ball, and that's exactly what he did. 1v1, he was fricking done. Scott Wright using his pace in behind the fullback, leaves him for dead, genuinely, see you later mate, left him in the shadow realm. And then it wasn't just the pace with no substance, great ball in, picking out your boy Colak, and Colak, man, just swings the feet at it, man. He looked like Rey Mysterio dropping a 619. I didn't understand how he's done it, but he's done it and curled it in to the top bin. So that goal right there is just gorgeous, and that shows you why I sat here and said on day one that he was the best finisher at our football club, and I got absolutely roasted online. I mean, look at the tweets, they're all still there with everyone quote tweeting, tearing me to shreds, but you can see it. He's just a goal scorer, and that's been so long since we've had somebody like that. And this is 2-0 now. We're all of them. We're being absolutely rampant. Ryan Kent's having fun out there. He's just skilling and frilling. And the number 14, actually, it was actually 14 on 14. Sorry, I'm miffing in the name. I do apologise. I'm not being disrespectful or anything like that. But he pulls down Ryan Kent 5 minutes before, gets a correct yellow card. And then 2 minutes after that, 2 minutes after we've made it 2-0, Ryan Kent shimmies to go left. The wee Ryan Kent shimmy, as we call it, gets inside, and the boy just kicks him. Just kicks Ryan Kent, and then the referee's like, it's a foul, so he gives the foul, but for whatever reason he doesn't give the second yellow card, which for me is absolute nonsense. So you're going to hear a lot about James Sands' second yellow card and how he wasn't sent off and refs helping Rangers. No. Referee also got this one wrong, which again proves to me what I always say here on the channel. These referees are freaking gash. Genuinely should have been 2 red cards, ironically, in the first half. 1 for Sands and 1 for the Ross County player, but none actually happened, and we had some more positive play. I mean, Ryan Kent's just killing doing that left-hand side. He shimmies again, cuts back, hits in a beautiful ball to the back post that the skipper unfortunately rattles the bar as he tried to look like Malik Tillman. And it was actually quite funny at half time because both managers ended up taking players that should have been sent off. James Sands ends up coming off the park, and to be fair, I think he got a bit of a bad knock, but I'm pretty sure it was a precaution because, again, I think if he'd done anything else in the game, he was receiving it. And Malky done the exact same as well by taking off his player. So both players who should have been sent off go off at half time, and the game continued. And the best thing I can say about the second half is we didn't slow down. It was relentless. It was ruthless. It's the Rangers we want to see. And for the Moonhowlers, it's going to be complaining about James Sands' yellow card despite everything we said. Again, for me, there should have been a second penalty kick as Scott Wright gets down the channel. Again, he's just terrorising this fullback. He crosses it and the guy's at him. And the only reason I'm saying it's a penalty kick is because what happened to us versus USG with the inclusion of VAR. The boy's hands out to... It's a great save. In all honesty, it's at full stretch. He gets a good hand on it to stop the fricking cross, but we didn't get the penalty kick, and we end up nearly scoring from the same passage of play, by the way, as it comes in. Colak's annoying the goalkeeper, keep myself busy. It drops to, I think it's maybe Lawrence who has a swipe at it. It eventually falls its way back to Ryan Kent, and Ryan Kent has a curling effort that's headed off the fricking line. But then the moment of the game, and this goal right here is living rent-free in the grey noggin, people, because this goal is sheer freaking quality. Now, we've had moments like this in the past, but our strikers haven't been able to put it away because we've not had that clinical edge. But this goal here is brilliant. Ryan Kent is actually inside the park here. He nutmegs a Ross County player. It gives it to Lawrence, who does a first-time back heel pass. This is all one touch. Nutmeg, back heel pass, and then Kent with the outside of his foot splits the defender, sets up Colak, who doesn't need to take a touch. He waits for the ball and just puts it in the breadbasket, people. Honestly, the standard of that goal is going to keep me up the night in all the right ways. It was glorious football, and again underlines for me why Antonio Colak can lead our line all frickin' season, and I mean that, people, because that right there is the difference in dropping points in tough venues, because you give him one chance in a game, he'll put it away. He doesn't need 5 or 6. He's not the guy for the Mighty Ducks. Give him a chance and he's put it away. And if you want to argue with that, I don't understand how you can, because that's all he's shown already. Can you imagine when he gets fully settled in and in sync with all these new signings and all these players? It's genuinely going to be frightening. I think Antonio Colak will score more goals this season than any of our previous strikers have since, I don't know who, ladies and gentlemen, about 10 years at least, maybe looking at a Chris Boyd and everything. If he continues this way and we keep giving him the service, this guy could hit 25 goals this season. And I mean that. Now, I don't know why I say that, people, because if he continues the way that he's actually playing, he'll have 30 by Christmas, which means we must ban squash at all frickin' costs. I'm not going through it again. I'm not doing it. But aye, that was well and truly game, set and match, and it probably deserved to wrap the game up. But it was only 60 minutes on the clock. That's how well we were actually playing, and we were playing that well, people. We took Kent and Tillman off. in the 60th minute of the game. That's how clear and that's how perfect we were actually playing. And on comes Scotty Arfield and on comes Rabbi Matondo. But we weren't done there. Colak nearly gets his hat-trick here as the ball drops to him, and it's a very good save slash block. I think it takes if somebody gets, I couldn't really see it from my angle, but it's very, very unlucky. It's wide on the right, and then he doesn't get another opportunity as he gets hooked off, and I was gutted for him. I wanted that hat-trick for Antonio Colak, but again, I know there's a lot of games to be played. We don't know what our striking situation is, so I get it, but at the same time, I'd be absolutely spewing because there was a hat-trick on that cards. We were just playing at that freaking level. But believe it or not, the substitution we made was on Stephen Davis, who's a very young up-and-coming Northern international. You probably hear a lot about this lad because he just runs about like he's never seen or played the game before, and I mean that in the best way freaking possible, because you can just see he eats, sleeps and breathes football, and it's just a joy to watch the lad. The odd jokes and all that aside, you know how I feel about him. He's one of my favourite players ever, if I'm honest with you, and just the way he approaches the game, for me, is the type of people you should be looking up to, and I absolutely love the fact that he came on and got a goal. I love the way the team moved as well. It eventually ended with Tavernier, gorgeous cross in, and Stephen Davis scoring a goal. It was very similar to Bruno Alves, Dunfermline, whatever. But Bruno Fernandes's goal not too long ago as well, as he just steps in with a volley and tucks it away. They were all singing the praise of the technique and everything. That's why he's worth £60 million or whatever. Well, wee Stephen Davis done it, and he made it look even easier. So that was 4 on the clock, people, but it should have been 5 after a wonderful ball in behind the Ross County defence. Leaves Scotty Arfield with so much space and so much opportunity, but he tries a cheeky wee chip, but it's well saved by the goal. It really should have been 5, but at least it doesn't give me the temptation to put a salute in the thumbnail. Now I know what my thumbnail is going to be, and it's going to have Colak here and Lundstram right here. You've already seen it, you've already clicked on it, but aye, my two guys are leading the thumbnail, and my two guys led the game, and I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm just happy to see us back to that ruthless, aggressive level, because it looked like we never gave them any respect. And I like that. And aye, that's all I've really got to say about the game of football. It's been a long week. You've seen a lot of me. I do apologise. I'll give you a couple days off. But I just want to know your thoughts and opinions as we end what is a truly wonderful few days. Getting back where we belong in Champions League football. And for me, making a major step up and using Wednesday as a springboard rather than something that could potentially turn negative if we came into this game without our eye on the ball. We've used that now. We've channelled it in the right way. And I love the way the team's looking. Can't wait to see more of the new signings in the gel. And again, the older players who's been here for a while are absolutely shining with the sprinkles of new signings. So that's all I'm going to say. Happy guy. If you're talking about man of the matches, it's Colak for me. I'm sorry, but it is going to be all frickin' day. But special shout out to Ryan Kent and Scott Wright. Both of them were excellent in the middle. And probably the best thing you could say is you could give it to everyone, including Connor Goldson. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but Connor Goldson for me was absolutely spectacular and a driving force behind a lot of what we've done tonight. Now I know that doesn't do as well as negativity on Connor Goldson, but that there, he continued his perfect performance in the second half versus PSV with a perfect performance today. So Connor Goldson gets a thumbs up for me as frickin' well. But that's all I'm going to say in today's video, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Siege Over 2. Get involved, let me know your opinions, celebrate, have fun in the comments, and I'll see you Monday for the next frickin' preview. And until then, take care of yourselves, all the best, and bye bye.